Hello and welcome to my review of the Genestealer Cults Magus model. It's my 8th edition review. I said I'd do this for all of the Genestealer Cult models in my collection. One of these models I say will cost you £17.50. You can only get the female version of the Magus separately. This model, still a fantastic model. They're both lovely. If you wanted to get this particular one, you're going to have to fork out £37.50 for the Brood Coven box set, which includes the Primus and also the Patriarch and 2 familiars. So that's worth getting alone. It saves you a bit of money, I suppose, you know, if you desperately want this Magus model, but you can't get it separately unless you go to an auction website or something like that. Anyway, let's continue. So this model came out, I want to say a couple of years ago or so. So it didn't come out with the most recent release of Genestealer Cult. They've created a brand new Magus model for that release. I still think it holds its own. Got a lot of character. It's features on the front cover of the Genestealer Cult Codex. Lovely model. You can just sense the power emanating from this model as well, in terms of psychic ability and all the rest of it. I love the staff as well, and the robes. You don't know what's going on under those robes. Brilliant. So yeah, lots of detail there. If we just zoom in a bit more, he's got a blade there. He's got his arm outstretched and his hand open. He's got a pistol as well, in the sort of mining gear type hood thing. Yeah, got some iconography and a little Genestealer Cult staff with a gem and things on there. Fantastic model, lots of detail. I loved him when I reviewed him a couple of years ago. So let's do some size comparison. So I already put the other Magos there. So yeah, I've got 2 Magoses. Now she is really tall though, I have to say. I mean, I know she's wearing the boots and that probably helps, but she is, half a head taller than the male one, just to point that out. Got the same staff though, got some lovely robes. Holding a human skull, looks like a bowling ball. You can have her with a dagger, I think, if you didn't want to hold the skull. And then here is the Primus with the needle injector and the hand. Definitely set the stall out for the the Kelimorph when that was released. Well, not separately, but in another box, I think, and looks really good near some acolytes or metamorphs with those 3 arms. So yeah, size wise, he's taller than the Primus. Next to an Abominant, yep, he's sort of taller than that. Next to the Locust though, because another hooded sort of character. Yeah, taller than the Locust. The only thing he's sort of not taller than is obviously, a Patriarch. So one of the tallest models, except for the female Magus. So definitely holds his own still as a model. So what I'll do now is go through all the rules, because it's quite a high speed review this for these the previous models. So this Magus then, it's a HQ choice obviously. There's a power points cost of a 4 and a points cost of 80. You can have 0 to 2 familiars at 12 points each. So I just have one of the familiars there, so you can have up to 2 of them, and that helps him with his psychic powers. I'll speak to you about them in a moment. So his stat line then is movement of 6 inches, weapon skill and ballistic skill both 3+, strength and toughness of 3, 4 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8, and a save of 5+. So it's quite squidgy. He's very squidgy. Doesn't have an invulnerable save at all, low toughness, very low save, not very high strength. You want to keep him in the shadows, out of the way of any sort of combat. Is a single model armed with an auto pistol, Cultus Knife and forestave. It may be accompanied by up to 2 familiars, power rating +1. So the auto pistol, pretty pants really. It's a range 12-inch, pistol 1, strength 3, AP 0 and damage 1 weapon. Cultus Knife is a strength of the user, which will be 3, damage 1. Each time the bearer fights, it can make 1 additional attack with this weapon. That's alright, that means you got 4 attacks. Forestave though is a strength +2, so that's strength 5, AP -1 and damage of D3. That's a little bit better, that's what you should be using. Abilities, Cult Ambush and Unquestioning Loyalty. I've mentioned them in previous reviews. Spiritual Leader, each cult unit within 6 inches of any friendly Cult Magus models at the start of your opponent's psychic phase can attempt to deny one psychic power that targets them during the phase as if they were themselves a psyker. Pretty good. So they can deny them those psychic powers. Familiars, if a Magus is accompanied by any familiars, then once per game at the end of its controlling player's psychic phase, its familiars can lend it additional power. If they do so, the Magus can immediately attempt to manifest one additional psychic power. The death of a familiar is ignored for the purposes of morale tests, and familiars are considered to have the character keyword for the purposes of shooting attacks. Pretty good. Psyker, a Magus can attempt to manifest one psychic power in each friendly psychic phase and attempt to deny one psychic power in each enemy psychic phase. It knows a smite psychic power and 2 psychic powers from the Brood Mind discipline. Keywords: Tyranids, Genestealer Cults, Infantry, Character, Psyker, Magus, Infantry and Familiar. I won't go through all of the psychic powers. I went through them in the previous Patriarch review, so if you want to find out more about them, skip to the end of the Patriarch review and find out them. Essentially, he is much cheaper Patriarch with a much worse stat line, but still has access to Smite and those other psychic powers and that spiritual leader ability. But yeah, no strength 6, no monstrous talons, nothing like that. If you're going to use him, you picked him because he's cheap and you just want to go for a purely kind of psychic cheap HQ choice for your Genestealer Cults. Maybe you're going for a thematic army or something like that. Anyway, what do you guys think of the model and the rules? Please do put it in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. For the Norn Queen.